Hey, it's me, the Self-Reliance Kid. So right now I'm going to start the Knots and Lashings series. My dad's going to start you off with the lanyard knot.
Okay, well, Jack wants to have me show you how to do a lanyard knot. So this is a lanyard knot on this machete. I actually have a few of them on here. I got the one at the end of the lanyard. I got a sliding one on here, so I can adjust the loop in the lanyard, and I got one at the end of this lanyard braid, which this is a round braid, and I ended it with a lanyard knot. Lanyard knot is a diamond knot. Okay, so I'll show you how to do one of these. I'm going to go through one quickly, tie it just to show you how it goes, and then I'll go back through it and explain how to tie it. Okay. So it's kind of a simple process. It's an over-under type deal. And you got the knot started. You got your loop for your lanyard. When you tie these with paracord, as you all know, paracord binds on itself pretty tight, so it can make it a little more difficult to tie the knot. That's the puppy you're hearing in the background, so just never mind her. If we let her loose, she'll be jumping up on the bar here probably. So anyways, that's kind of how quickly you can get to a lanyard knot. And you kind of fiddle with it, which I'll go over in the tying of it. So there's lanyard knot. Take it apart before it's really tight. Just pull them apart and pull these two back out of here. Maya, be good. Okay, so now let's go over how to actually tie it. Now this, if you haven't done this before, can drive you nuts, and you'll probably throw things and So anyways, when you want to make a lanyard knot or a lanyard, you want to determine the length of the finished loop that you want. Like with a machete, it's kind of important because you're going to want it to be able to go over the handle in a certain way so it grips your hand. If it doesn't matter, then just roll with it. But if you do want to have it a specific length, like you want it to end here, you might want to just take a little piece of blue tape or something and put it on each end so you know that you're tying the knot where you want it to end up. Because once you get that knot in place and tight, it don't move. So if we're starting here, you want to start by making a loop.
Does it matter if the line goes over top or underneath?
Well, no, you can do it either way. You can put the loop over the top, or you can put it under the bottom here. So we'll go over the top. So if you go over the top and you make a loop right like that, then you take your other end. You want to make sure you got 4 or 5 inches to work with. You're going to cut the rest off, but don't cut yourself short on tying a knot. That's a little tougher. So if you're over the top with this one wants to lay over top the loop, like that. Then you come under this one. I'm trying to do this so you can see it from the perspective that it would be if you're tying it. So you're under, over, under, over, and under, and pull it tight. Now if you know your knots, you're saying, oh wow, that's a carrick bend, because that's what it is. Right there is a carrick bend. So you can do a carrick bend either way with the loop starting at the top or the bottom. So the carrick bend is actually the heart of a diamond knot. Can you see that okay, Jack?
Yeah, I got
What we're
it.
doing? Okay. So what I want to do now is snug it up just a little bit, best as I can, because the tighter I can get it at this point, the easier it's going to be to finish the knot. But I want to keep a hole in the middle. See a little hole right through the center of the knot? You got to have that. So then, with the carrick bend and your lanyard loop going up, you got these two tag ends. The one on the right goes around the loop on the left and up through that hole in the middle. That's why you want to maintain that hole. And then you pull that through. And then you want to kind of hold that over to the left, keeping the hole open. The one that was coming out on the left side of the knot, take it around the right side of the loop and back up through the hole in the middle. Okay? And then snug it up just a little bit. Go all four of them. And then you can see it's starting to take some shape. And then what I'll do is I'll just kind of hold it right here and start pulling on it, tightening it up. Now don't get too carried away in pulling it too tight. You want to go to all four of them. Because if you pull it too tight, the paracord or any cord for that matter is going to bind up on it and it's going to give you a little bit of trouble. So now it's coming into shape, but it's still kind of whacked out. So you want to kind of just roll it around, get it rounded out, and then look for loops that are loose and just start going around the knot. So that one's loose there, so just kind of pull it through. It looks like there's a whole lot more lines in there, but there's only the four going through, two really. And pull that. And then this one's a little big, so I'm doing this with my fingernails at this point. But when you get down to the final tightening of this knot and you use your fingernails, you're going to bend them back and it's going to hurt. So I would recommend using a multi-tool, pair of pliers, something like that. So this knot here is getting pretty tight, and I don't really want to make it as tight as it can be because they're real hard to take apart then, and I want to take this back apart. And I want to get it as tight as I can to show you. Okay. So if you go around this particular knot one more time and pull it real tight, you know, with the tip of your multi-tool, and get it good and tight, you have the choice then of cutting these two off and burn it back, or you can cut them equal, you can cut them offset, you know, give a little more decoration. But once this knot is pulled really tight, it's going to stay, and it's very hard to take back apart.
That's why you do it.
Yeah. So as you roll it around, you can see, you know, if you go through that thing one more time, this one's sticking out, could be a little tighter. It'll tighten up and take more of a shape like this, be more uniform. And pull it down tight, and there's your lanyard knot. So just remember, it's a carrick bend. If you know how to make a carrick bend, or just practice doing that to start with, then you're going to be ahead of the game. Because a lot of the videos that are on YouTube that show you how to make a diamond knot. If you don't know your knots, see how hard this is to get apart. They're showing you how to go through the steps, but a lot of them don't tell you it's a carrick bend in there. Okay, so let me get this one apart real quick, and I'll show you how fast you can roll with it. You know, because you probably have a lot of things that you want to put lanyards on. One of the other things that these are cool knots for, if you got a bunch of little scrap pieces of paracord laying around, you can make a bunch of small loops with lanyard knots on them, using for zipper pulls for winter time with your gloves. So, you know, once you get used to it. Let's see, we went over top on the one I demonstrated, so let's go underneath. It does the same thing. This is typically the way you would tie a carrick bend. Let's see, lost my loop. Stuff's a little slippery. Oops, I missed it. Getting some shadow.
Some ghost line.
Yeah. Okay, so we're over top here. So remember, if you're over top, start over top. And then it's just over under. So we're going to do the over under thing. There's carrick bend. Pull that tight, flatten up your line. I like to keep it kind of tight, which makes it hard to get it through the middle, but it's easier to tighten up the knot. And roll the knot around in your hand a little bit to shape it. There you go. And then just go through it, tighten it up. Once it's pulled down real tight with the paracord, it's staying there. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that little video. These things are fun to make. They're nice to have on your tools, but until you learn it, don't get frustrated. Just keep going. It will come naturally to you if you tie it enough, and the first ones you probably get a little mad. So thanks for watching. We appreciate your views, your comments, and your support of Self-Reliance Kid. See you next time.